I'm so frustrated I don't even want to say the opener. Hi, and we're back on IMO for the third time tonight since I've been fucking up on the production side here. This is Griselle.
No. Rewind and say that with a little bit more
I'm kidding. Hi, this is IMO. In my opinion, with J&M, John's not here, so I had to look for a replacement. So I found a better co-host in Griselle Rivera. Griselle Rivera. Sorry, my bad.
Say it right.
My bad. She is my cousin on my father's side, the only one I have. So she holds a very special place in my life and in my heart. And she's an amazing mother, single mother. What else can I say? I mean, that's got to be like the cherry on the top, right? That you're a great mother, because I think that's what every mother thrives to be, right?
That's your opinion. Others might have other opinions.
Then they can go.
I try to be the best mom that I can be.
I think you do an amazing job.
Thank you.
So for the third time tonight, tell people who you are, what you do, what you want to talk about, if you have something to get off your chest, yeah.
Well, no, like you said, I'm Griselle Rivera. Your favorite cousin in the planet. Because although I'm the only one from your dad's side, I should be your favorite.
Okay.
Delilah and Natalia's mother.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean, I'm the oldest cousin.
Are you the oldest?
Yeah,
but
I'm the oldest from both sides, actually.
No, you're not. Yes. But you're not older than Joselito and those cats and like Jaimito and Holly and them. It
depends on.
See, I don't even consider them technical. I don't even consider. Oh, I do consider them cousins, obviously. Yeah. But to me, they're like, because they were so much older than we were.
Well, I look at it like I'm the oldest from the Rivera side, right?
Yes.
And then I'm the oldest from my abuela side, like Nereida, like I'm the oldest grandkid she has.
Okay.
So she has 15, but from my abuela side, I'm the oldest.
But you have a weird story, because obviously me and you are related.
We're all on technicalities.
But besides us, because we're actually biological cousins.
And double related.
It's kind of weird. So like you grew up, and your mom grew up with my mom side of the family, which is in some weird way they're related. So we consider you cousins on that side of the family too.
Right.
It's just weird.
But
technically, it's just us.
Yeah,
it's just me, you, Miliani, and Tiffany when she was still around. But so you were here. You were born here, right?
Yeah, I was born in Cook County Hospital.
Cook County Hospital? Which one?
In Cook County.
In the county.
Cook County.
So you were born here. Then how old were you when you left? Because you went to Puerto Rico, right?
Yeah, I think we moved when I was around. Well, I moved first. My mom stayed. I was about, I want to say roughly like 15 going on 16 or almost 16.
Okay, so you went to school here for a little bit. You went to Nixon, no?
I went to Nixon.
How do I know?
From kindergarten to 8th grade. And then I went to Prosser. All my friends went to Calvin Park.
So you went to a smart school. And then all your friends went to a dumb school.
If you want to say,
because I went to Calvin Park.
At the time, Prosser was not a smart school.
Really? There was a time when Prosser.
I don't consider the. Remember, everything was Lane. Lane Tech was
even till this day. Lane is like the cream of the crop. Like if you go to Lane, you're gonna be successful in your life.
Right. So
that's what that means.
Everybody went to KP and I went to Prosser, and then I left Prosser when I was after my sophomore year. So I was like. Yeah, I think maybe I was 16 already.
And then you went to Puerto Rico and studied in one of those baseball named schools?
Pedro Albizu Campo.
Get
it right, papi, que tú eres boricua, Pedro Albizu Campo.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, I don't know what
I'm totally not Puerto Rican.
You want to say I was doing? Because when I went to Puerto Rico, actually, and started school, they wanted to drop me down to grade levels.
Oh, but they do that, don't they? Because in Puerto Rico, they have They have an extra grade in grammar school, no?
Yeah, well, they have
Or in
like
high
you
school?
have to take history of Puerto Rico, Spanish one, and so when I went, technically I should have been a junior, right, by my calculations, and because I was a sophomore here, they wanted to drop me back down to ninth grade, which is considered elementary, and that's when I decided that I would be attending school from the outside.
From the bench outside?
From the bench, because I was like, well, wait a minute, no, we're not doing this. So yeah, that's when all the crazy, wild me came out.
Oh, that's when it was. Man, reggaeton wasn't even out at the time. Man. Can you imagine if reggaeton would have been? Don Omar would have been out.
It was. What is it?
No, it was not.
It was The Noise, DJ Nelson. Yes, honey.
No, you were not in high school.
fetus.
You were not a high school when reggaeton was like in its heyday.
Yes.
Maybe what General maybe was around at the time. Maybe
No.
Because maybe, but it wasn't like Don Omar,
I mean,
Daddy
but you're in
Yankee.
Puerto Rico, so in Puerto Rico, reggaeton was just on fire, regardless of how. I remember. I'm gonna tell you a
Because
story.
reggaeton was really hot when I was in high school. Because
No, let me tell you the story. I paid $20 to go to an espuma party in Mayagüez, and I saw
in those Mambo days, there was a phone party.
a foam.
You know, you know.
Yeah. So I paid $20 and I saw Evie Queen and her husband. I saw
I don't like Evie Queen because she threw water at me one time.
no, at the time it was Hector el Dragon. I seen what's his name? This guy. Not Daddy Yankee, the other guy. Nicky Jam.
Nicky Jam, the junkie.
I seen a whole bunch of them. They were all playing off for $20.
Without-
So
yeah,
come
that's when
to
it was
Chicago
affordable.
years later, fast forward, I ended up paying $300 just to go see Don Omar.
You know what? I saw Don Omar, and this is why I said Evie Queen threw water at me. So I went to a Don Omar concert long time ago. It was like my Best Buy days. And we went to the Aragon Theater, right? Aragon Theater? Is that what it's called? Aragon Theater?
Yeah.
So we go there, and it was Don Omar, and opening for him was Evie Queen. So we in Aragon's first, well, it used to be first come first serve because it was like
Right.
it was all
It's still
stand
like
room,
that,
it was
I
all
think.
stand room or whatever, which is great because that's like going to a club, so you could actually dance with people. You know what I'm saying? So Evie Queen comes out, whatever. It's hot as balls in there, so she's drinking water and she's just throwing it into the crowd, and I'm like, I'm wearing a white shirt, cabrona, like.
White t-shirt
What
contest.
I was like this skinny at the time, like literally, like it's like a. And then we used to wear those really big ass shirts back then. Can you imagine a skeleton inside a white hefty bag? That's literally what it looked like. Like grab one of these light stands and then put a bag over it. That's what it looked like. Disgusting. But I agree with you. Tickets were pretty cheap back then. Everything is stupid expensive now. So you were in Puerto Rico. You started your party life. Right.
I was still a good girl though. Like I worked in San Sebastian. In
Whoever
the market.
whoever said
I'm
you were a
just
bad
saying,
girl.
Like I had to just put it out there. Me saying that like the crazy lifestyle was just more of like I decided
The party
I was
lifestyle.
gonna
We
go to
all
school.
did it.
Yeah.
We all partied,
Yeah.
right? Right? We all had our time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but outside of school, I met my child's father, who was an older man. And yeah.
Wow, now I know where your daughter gets it from.
F-
How much older?
old.
How much older? How much older was he than you at the time? Was it like
8
was
years.
it legally
He was
was it
8
legal
years.
legally rape at the time?
Oh my God! You know,
I'm
PG-13,
I'm
please,
kidding.
thank you.
I'm kidding.
He was 8 years older, and the funny part is that I couldn't even stand him when I first met him. I did not like this man.
Funny how that works.
Yeah.
Funny how that works.
But yeah, I had my 2 children with him, my son and my daughter. Like I think I said earlier, my son passed away. And then, I'm not going to go step by step my whole life, but 4 years later, I had Natalia. And yeah, I stayed with the 2 kids. I got operated not to have any more, not by choice, but I was 22 when I had to get operated. So I would never have children no more.
Do you want to go into that? Why you were forced or not?
We can a little bit.
Was it
at
like-
the time it was situational? I was staying with my mom, and it was more like you
Her
know,
decision?
Yeah, like it was one of those. If you don't do it, you don't have nowhere to go.
I
don't
see.
want to like get
gun
too
to your
into
head
it
type
because
thing.
me and my mom now are in a
No,
beautiful,
that's
beautiful
fine. That's
place.
fine. No problem.
But transparently, yeah, it was one of those like you already had 3, and what do you even though one passed away, what do you need another one
Right.
for? And we're not gonna help you. So if you don't do it, so it's kind of like I kind of woke up honestly to the doctor saying, "Hey, here's my card, and if you're ever pregnant again, come sue me." And I was like, "What are you talking about? What do you mean, come sue you?" And then I found out that she was like, "Yeah, you got cut, tight, burnt." I was like, "Oh."
They tied up the plumbing down there.
Yeah, now, you know what? I would have had a lot of babies.
You know what? Why? Well, you have this weird, like, I feel like, and don't take this the wrong way, because obviously you're older than I am. And I think you're the last one that has like that older school mentality. Like a lot of kids and like how we discipline kids and our mentality with our kids and all that. Like, I feel like you're the last one of like how I would say my mom and my dad and your dad, how they raised. Like, you guys, if Tiffany was still around, you guys would be the last ones to carry over somewhat of that
old school
era, right? Because I think now it's different. And I think I've talked to your daughter about this. Like, nowadays we don't think of hitting kids as much as we got hit. Because don't get me wrong, I'll probably hit my kid at least once in my lifetime just so I can know what it feels like.
Don't do that. I will kick your ass.
See, here's the funny part. But you would hit your own kids, but you won't hit my. You won't let me hit my kids.
It's the perspective of understanding, because you don't.
I can totally see my dad doing the same thing, and my mom. Like, my mom, well, my mom really didn't hit me that much. She hit me a couple times, but like my dad would hit me, right? So I'm like, one day I'm gonna hit my kids in front of my dad, and my dad's gonna yell at me for it. No le pegue.
Right.
And I'm like, why you hit me?
Well,
that's not the same thing.
Me and the girls talk about that now. Like, when we like have those hypothetical scenarios of me having grandkids, and I think it was Delilah or both of them. But
hypothetical.
Yes, not right now. When the time's right. But we talked about like, when you have my grandkids, we're gonna have timeouts. We're not gonna hit, and they're like, we're gonna feel some type of way because of how you raised us when we were younger. Now you're saying that, so we can't hit our grandkids. But
that happens all the time.
No, right?
You see that everywhere now.
But I think you're right that me and Tiffany would have probably been that last era, because regardless of the fact, like, Abuela taught me old school. You know me and you know how I am now, but I've always had that mentality of like, the man has to lead the house, right? And a lot of people, they're like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, well, Abuela always taught me that for you to have a good marriage and a good household, there can't be two leaders in a house, right? So you can't be a woman trying to play the man, and I have it's my opinion, right? I always feel like if I'm married or I'm with someone, I have to give my man the respect of him being in the household, right? That's that old school mentality.
That's when he gets the big piece of chicken, right?
Right. When you serve him first, and also the kids, right? Disciplining the kids. You and me, I grew up getting my ass whooped just for looking the wrong way. Or... oh my God. I remember getting my ass beat because I wanted a job. My mom, okay, so I don't know if you remember, but back in the day.
Say the worst one.
I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
Back in the day in Discovery, me and my friend Alicia were talking about this. There was this brand called Cornici. Baggy pants, it had big buckles, and it said Cornici on it. And I remember one day I came home and I told my mom, I want a job. And my friend's uncle has a little clothing store. He's going to pay us $20 a day to stock his store. And she gave me like, what? ¿Pa qué carajo tú quieres trabajar? I don't give you everything, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, you know what? That's all I said. And I ran to my room, and she ran behind me and grabbed that buckle. To this day, my vein is popped on my thigh because she whooped my ass. And I'm like, it's sad because when I came here and everything I went through with the girls and not knowing how to process thoughts, not knowing how to process emotions, I hit my kids a lot, especially Delilah. And do I regret it now? Of course. Not the disciplining part, but just I crossed the line a couple times, and more than once. And I'm not proud of that, but it's what I was taught, And now we have a state of mind where, like, we're all college students, right? So Delilah goes to U of I, Chachi's about to graduate high school, Natalia not. I'm getting my associates, and I signed up to get my bachelor's. So now we kind of like, it's kind of fun because we all take little psychology classes. So we're all psychoanalyzing each other every minute. And, let's take our time, let's process, and it's a beautiful thing. But it's that new era, right? Because back in the day, especially in a Hispanic or Latino family, it didn't matter. And I thought like that too. I used to tell my kids, if I tell you the sky's black, and it doesn't matter what you think, I'm your mom, the sky's black.
Yeah, but again, we were all brought up in different. Again, like I said, you're the last ones of that era. We have a little bit of that, right? We have a little bit of that, but we like your generation.
I don't even know.
You're not millennial though. I think you're probably X or something. Like my generation, you know, if you're in your, you know, 30s, whatever, like we grew up getting hit, right? Like with me, like I agree with you. We got hit for any goddamn thing, even if it wasn't your fault. Like the worst one for me, the worst one. And it's funny, right? So like Tiffany and Emiliani, when we were kids, we were all Christian. So they used to wear very long skirts, right? So one day, and we used to race to sit shotgun in my dad's car, right? So one day, me and Tiffany were leaving. I don't know where we're going. My dad's already in the car, so we're leaving. And then I go to Tiffany. I'm like, I got shotgun. So we start running, and she starts running. And because of the skirt, she slides head first. Basically, she falls head first, like she's sliding into home plate, right? And I'm still running to the front of the car. I'm still running to the front of the car. My dad picked her up and then grabbed me and beat the shit out of me for something I didn't do, because I didn't put a gun to her head to run. She ran. She fell. How is that my fault?
Because she wouldn't have ran.
And she goes, ¿Por qué tú la haces correr? That's how it was.
Yeah.
Literally, that's how it was. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, I mean, I would never do that. I mean, I don't know. If I had a little girl, I guess it would be the same thing. But it's a different time right now. It's a different time. We all discipline. That doesn't do anything. And then that's my thing. I've always said that it doesn't do anything just because, like, my dad hit me, and it didn't make me want to do the right thing. It made me want to do the wrong thing. No. Like, if I cut class and I got hit for it, it wasn't like I was going to stay in class the next day.
No, and then it gets to a point where they're hitting you, because I remember getting to that point where I used to invite the ass whooping. I used to be like, oh, you want to hit me? Hit me. It don't hurt no more. Hit me. Yeah. I can take it. And I would. And I would sit there and take it, and it would anger her even more.
I think the biggest thing my dad hit me more than my mom. And again, I don't blame them. And this is something that me and your daughter don't agree on. But I don't blame them, right? Like, I'm not angry at that, because that's how they were taught. And you said it. Like, this is how we were taught, right? This is what we know, right? But obviously, you're in a different mentality. You grew up with different information than how I did. Right, because I was more in that era when more information was starting to come out, whatever. So little by little, things changed. The mentality changes. But you had kids during a time where there wasn't as much information. Right. So like you just relied on what you saw, right? Versus us, we relied more on, okay, so you can go on Google and look up, how do you discipline your kids legally or illegally? And then here comes the Puerto Rican. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
I think it's where I'm at now in my life. It's breaking cycles, right? It's telling my kids, look, from my side of the family, not the Rivera, but like my mom, right? I'm the only daughter, and I'm the oldest from Nereida's bunch of grandkids. And I tell my kids, we're potentially gonna be the first ones to full blown graduate college. A 4-year degree. Me and my 2 daughters are going to be the first ones, right? I think one of my cousins got an associate's. But that's breaking a cycle, right? Because my grandma, my great-grandma, my mom, they didn't go to school. And although I was, in the beginning, part of that abusive cycle as well, I was able to catch myself, better late than never, right? My kids would argue that, you did it for a long time and you didn't have to. But I like to think that I like to break that violent cycle now, because I don't want that for the future of my grandkids. And I don't want that to be a continued thing within the family, right? So like when you have kids too, that's why I said, I'll beat your ass if you hit my little nephew or little niece, because we do have the information now, and we can educate ourselves now and process things. And the worst thing I think I've been through is having to sit in a car and have a conversation with my daughters about things that I have put them through and things they lived, and not understanding at the time or knowing how bad it affected them. Because, when I did come back from Puerto Rico, long story short, we had a little bit in the street. You know, I stayed in the street with my kids, and I got out of that situation. I did a lot of bad shit. You know, I did my share of selling drugs and my share of doing a lot of stuff in order to survive and in order to put a roof over my head. And I had to, you know, always have 2 or 3 jobs. And Delilah became a second mom to Natalia, you know, because I was so untrusting. I was scared that people would do something to my children. So at a very young age, she became that babysitter, so to speak. Like, I'm going to go to work. I'm going to leave. Do not open the door, this and that. And she was very young, you know. So I put a lot. I love both of my daughters. Delilah has been my rock because she emotional. Delilah has saved my life more than once. When I mean physically, literally has saved my life. And I think put a lot of stress on her.
I think she, obviously the 2 girls are obviously different in dynamic, right? They're completely different. Delilah is one of those girls, and as much as I argue with her, and I love arguing, right? Obviously,
Rivera trait.
But she does have a trait that, like, she has this like trusting kind of. She gives you like this positive vibe. She sends vibes, I guess. I don't know. You get what I'm saying? Like, she has this thing about her, like this aura, I guess, if you want to say, where, like, I don't know if it's fake, if she just knows that she does, but like, she has this like genuine, like, kind of like, oh, I can trust her just by looking at her kind of thing. I don't know, but that's just me. But I can see where she's like your rock, because sometimes when I get into like stuff, like just her sitting there kind of makes me feel better, and I know I can tell her stuff, and she'll give me a some kind of an opinion. But she's a great kid. I mean, and I can totally see. And then, like I said, I saw you guys often when you guys came back to Chicago and you guys appeared over here. I saw her the way she was, you know, growing up, and she had a lot of responsibility.
She did, and you know, it's like you can play devil's advocate. Having the responsibility made her a nurturer, made her a carer, made her think of other people before herself. But then on the other side, it created a lot of anxiety. It created a lot of, you know, sometimes, you know, me and Natalia are in a way better place communication-wise now. We can be better, right? But back in the day, Delilah was our center glue. Like, without her, me and Natalia couldn't talk.
She was like the information. Like, she would relay the information.
No, it's just like that middle ground, right? Like, well, give mom a second to talk, and then mom calm down and listen. And, you know, they both separately have been through a lot of stuff, and I won't discuss their personal things now because they are, you know, they're 21 and 18. And
they're adults.
Yeah, I don't. But they both separately have suffered a lot of trauma because of other things in their lives, and trauma caused by me. Because, again, like I said, you know, and I say that because maybe, like, so I bought a house.
Felicidades.
Woo-hoo. Yeah, I know. I thought I would never.
You still haven't fixed that door, have you?
No, I have not, because it's waiting for you.
It's
waiting for you. But I recently acquired a home, and it was something that I thought I never can do because, like every other, what am I, Generation X, Millennial, whatever I am.
We never owned property.
Fucked up my credit, thinking, oh, I could get a U.S. Cellular. Don't pay that bill. Oh, I could get this bill. Oh, don't pay that bill. So I had to work on my credit, and I had to work on a lot of things. And I saved money, and I was able to buy a house, which, you know, I'm very proud of myself. And I wanted my kids to be in a home. So, when we had a conversation about maybe 3 months ago in the garage in a car, we tend to have these intense conversations sporadically. And again, not to get into details, but I had to confront the fact that they said, well, remember when you were doing this? Remember when you lived? So, okay, I'm going to give you the situation. Maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. No, maybe 6, 7 years ago. I was out there selling drugs, and I was out there doing all type of crazy shit so I could survive. So there was times that I would leave my kids home alone so I could go do what I do. And Delilah tells me a story, right? Her perspective. Oh, one day you went out and I woke up and you weren't there. And I walked outside. It must have been like 2 a.m. and there was a guy out there, and I asked, have you seen my mom? And they were like, no. And I went back inside, and I was scared until you got home. I've never heard that story before. And when I heard it, it freaked me the fuck out. because I was like, what the fuck was I thinking? So much shit could have happened to my kid. Somebody could have went in the house. Who knows who that guy, I put them in not willingly, right? Not purposely, right? But to hear your child's perspective on their side of the story, because every story has two sides, whether it's a family relationship, a man and woman relationship, mother and daughter, there's always two sides of the story. And that hurt me. And Natalia also stated a lot of stuff that hurt her on my, and I felt like my world ended in that moment in the car. I felt like the only thing that's giving me pride has my kids, and the only thing I did right was my kids. And at that moment, they were saying, no, you didn't. Not to hurt me, but they were just expressing themselves. And I got in the car, and I left, and I drove to the point where I reached St. Louis because I wasn't trying to come back home, because it hurt me so bad that I hurt them. And, I have my own beliefs, and I was taken back to my home because that's where I belong. And it's one of those things where it's like, no, you don't give up now. But in order for me to grow, in order for me to be a better mom and be a better example, I had to process those feelings. You know what I mean? And accept it. I fucked up. Really bad.
We all do that, though. But we all fuck up. I mean,
quit,
yeah,
what I mean?
and that's that's the thing. Like, well, get back on your horse type thing.
Right.
Like, and that's kind of cliche, but it's the truth. I mean, you didn't give up. You kept going, and I know your kids. I mean, I've talked to your kids away from you. Obviously, me and them have had me and Delilah have had more conversations about how she feels about certain things, and I'm not going to put it out there, obviously, because I respect that. But it's one of those things. It's like, when you're a kid, right, you don't understand why a parent does what they do, right? Like, again, it depends on the person, obviously. Like, when my dad would hit me or beat me up, like, I never took it personal. Like, I would get mad, but like, I mean, it wasn't as a thing. But everyone's different, right? They took it more emotionally than I would, But then again, I understood more because I saw all my other cousins getting hit the same way or whatever, and that, or the people that I hung out with at the time or whatever. But you did. I honestly applaud you for the way you brought up your kids, because your kids are great kids, man, and I really can't complain too much about them, even though they give me lip every so often.
They have to. They're very strong, independent young ladies over here.
Yeah, they are. They don't like listening to opposite opinions, but okay, we'll talk about that later.
Whatever. You can't live without them.
I can't. I know.
But you know what? Look at even that sentence, right? I raised two beautiful, independent, strong ladies that have no qualms in speaking their mind. And 10, 15 years ago, I wouldn't have thought they would be who they are now.
But that's the thing. I also feel like the girls also need to realize that the reason they are who they are is because of what happened in their lives. You know what I'm saying? That everything that happens in our lives molds us to what we are. Like, would we be the amazing person that we are if it wasn't for the road that we walked? Right? Like, would I be doing this, shenanigan that I do here or whatever, or if I didn't go through every process, like my father hit me and then all of that is a piece to a puzzle that I have right now that I'm still putting together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I get it that some things upset us in time, but like you said, when you mature and you move on in life and you look back, right? Sometimes it's a hard thing to look back, but everything that happened helped us become the person that we are right now.
Yeah, but
would we be the same person?
No, absolutely not.
There we go.
It takes a lot of time because, like, I have firm beliefs, and I've always said that good or bad, even when I didn't understand it, things happen for a reason. Like, it's the only thing that's helped me survive all these years. Is like, if I go through, so losing my son, right? I was like very mad with God. Why did you do this to me? And why did you take my son? And blah, blah, blah. And just was in this whole dark depression. At the time, didn't know postpartum depression was a thing. Probably was going through that too. And I fought it. And I fought it not understanding. And I cried my son for so many years. And probably up to recently, to the past year, I've been on my own spiritual journey. And I've been on trying to understand the bigger picture in life. And I have to 100% believe that everything I went through was because it was already destined for me to go through that so that I could be who I am now. So that I can have the knowledge and the understanding to, because we live on this like a time thing, right? So by the time we're 30, we have to have kids. And by the time we're 35, I have to own a home. And by the time we always put this like, for women, what is it, biological clock? But for any in
life
general, this life clock. Oh, if I'm not married by 35, then I'm never gonna find the love of my life.
Right.
And that was me too, right? Up till recently, and I don't think like that now. I feel like when things are gonna happen, they're gonna happen. I don't lose hope that it's gonna happen. And I kind of guess that's why I'm on this show too, because it's like, I know that a lot of women, a lot of young ladies, even a lot of young men go through so much trauma, and it's hard not to, you think that you're the only one going through that. You think you're the only one that went through. If I could sit here and tell you all the trauma I've been through, I could write a book.
You have to change the batteries on the camera a couple times.
I could write you a book, because I could sit there and tell you I have literally been through it all.
And I believe
bad thing you want to think about, I've been through it all. But guess what? I'm here.
There we go. And
here.
that's what's important, you know?
Yeah.
That's what's important. What else can I add to that? I feel like I can't even go after that. Like, that's boom. Mic drop.
Drop the mic.
Okay, so we kind of went off. We sidetracked a little bit. So Puerto Rico,
Chicago,
stayed on a bench outside of high school in Puerto Rico. Okay, yeah. Cool. Then came back to Chicago. Where we at there?
Came back to Chicago. Living arrangements weren't what they were supposed to be.
They weren't ideal.
No. Situations happened that led me into, like I told you earlier, I think being in the street with the kids for a couple months. That was very, very exhausting and hard to deal with. Didn't think I'd come out of that, but I did. Was able to get an apartment, get a job, get 2 jobs, raise my kids. My kids' father was in Puerto Rico, both of them. I didn't leave Puerto Rico with I'm hiding my kids from their dad, you know? That was never the situation. It was more like, I'm leaving to get my kids a better life. So the communication kind of like wasn't there from their end. So I raised my daughters alone. And at the time, too, me and my mom had a horrible relationship. A horrible, horrible relationship. I didn't talk to my mom for like years. Like, I would call her for 2 minutes, probably talk to her twice in 5 years type of shit. But I've been blessed that God has put people in my life that were not family who surrounded me and got me through so much. Like, I have a
Take
core
that
of friends.
offensively?
I mean,
whatever.
You know the situation.
I'm gonna turn this way now.
No, whatever. No, but I have people, like I have my core, right? I tell people I have my core friends. It's about 10 of them, and the youngest one out of the core.
Damn, you have 10
4.
friends? I have like 3.
I have 10 whole friends.
Like 3.
And one of the oldest of them, which is Will. I call my brother Will. Man, for the time when I met him and everything was going on, if he wouldn't have been in our lives, if he wouldn't have been in the kids' lives, to this day he's in the kids' life. As you seen when Delilah graduated,
of course, he flew up here.
No, that was Pedro. He flew from Texas. Will came from Champaign.
Yes,
and you came, you know, and you guys have always been I've been blessed that although my kids haven't had their father in their life like they would have wanted to, that they've been surrounded by great men who have shown them what a good man is, right? Now, has their mother showed them great relationships? Absolutely not. Because, you know, when you have trauma and daddy issues, I have them too. You tend to, you know.
Yeah, that's a whole different can of worms,
yeah,
though. I mean,
so no, but it plays part into it, right? Because being a mom, being a single mom, learning the value of who you are as a woman, you know, if I would have thought of myself how I think of myself now, I could have conquered a lot more. Because I think I'm the shit now. So, you know, I'm pretty badass now. But it's been, whatever. Don't cricket me. Don't cricket me. But I mean, yeah. So then fast forwarded. Had a little stint in California. Moved to California for like a good 9 months. Came back. Always ended up back in Chicago. No matter where I went, came back to Chicago.
No, we're all trying to leave Chicago. No. I'm trying to leave Chicago. I'm tired of this city.
You're tired?
Hell yeah, I'm tired of this city.
You
tired of this city?
I want water. I want ocean water. I'm a water baby.
Ocean water?
Yeah. If it was ideal for me, either a little house in the lake or ocean water. I want to be near the water. Because right now, Lake Michigan is not cutting it. Absolutely not.
Lake Michigan is disgusting sometimes.
Man.
Yeah, I want to get out of the city. I'm tired of all this. It's Chicago, as great as Chicago is, right? Because it does have amazing things, right? Like a lot of, things to go look at and see. And I like all that stuff. It's just, man, it's so expensive to live here. It's bananas.
It's why I don't live in Chicago.
But you live close enough where you still get hit with it. Yeah, you live in by Kittyland. You live close enough where you still get hit with that. Like you still have to pay high ass gas prices like we do now.
Yeah.
Which is, oh my God, how is gas so expensive right now? But we're gonna get into that.
Trump's fault.
It's the opposite of that. It's not Trump's fault. It's fucking Biden's fault. He just started signing shit politics. Without reading. He can't even read. He sounds like he's falling asleep every time he talks. I swear to, never mind. But I mean, not just that. I mean, everything. I mean, to buy a city sticker in Chicago is like $150. Like it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Everything's expensive. Everything's money. You got to pay a city sticker, but yet you got to pay for parking in downtown by the meters, and the meters cost a shit ton too. It's absurd. Like it's just. You know what I want? I want to live in a small town where there's not that many people. Or, I mean, I don't care about the amount of people.
Oh my God, you know what I don't care about Hold on. He wants to live the full house life.
That's impossible, because that would be in San Francisco.
You want to live the... what was the song?
Everywhere you look.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
There's a place.
Yeah, maybe that. Because I want to live in a house with 3 men and three girls. Daughters.
But I'm gonna ask you a question, because we're kind of, what kind of father do you think you would be right now?
That's a great question. I have no idea. It's kind of weird to think of, because I'm kind of a kid inside, right? Like I'm kind of a kid inside. Yeah, I heard that. I'm a kid inside. But that's a great. I don't know. I don't know. I kind of want to say I would be. I'm gonna try to be the type of father that's like involved a lot. Like I want to get depending obviously what I have a little girl, if I have a little boy, they want to pick up sports or whatever. Like I want to do things that my parents, and not that they didn't want to do it, but they didn't do for me. So like my dad didn't see me play basketball till maybe like a year ago. You know what I'm saying? And I played basketball my entire life, Mm-hmm. And I remember in high school having games and their parents would go to the games, but my parents wouldn't go. And not because they didn't want to, because they had to work or whatever the case may be. I want to be that type of parent. Like I want to be involved. I want my kid. Like everyone says, I want to be friends with my kids, but that's kind of a bad mentality. I don't think you should be friends with your kids, because that then becomes. That's such a.
I don't know, because it's like you kind of.
I feel like that can be dangerous.
With that. Yeah, it can.
I feel like that could be dangerous, because then they start thinking of you as a friend. And then I've had this situation, even like with your kids, where like I became their friend. Yeah. Right. And that's okay that they look at me that way. Right. But I feel like sometimes they forget that I'm an adult. And I mean, obviously they're adults as well, because I mean she's 18 and the other one's 20 or 21. I get that, but like, fuck if we ever did that, right? So when I was 21, if I was to go crazy on anyone who was older than me, forget it. Like,
not acceptable.
Yeah, it's the thing. But then we didn't have relationships like that with them either. Like it would be like me having a relationship with Holly or Jaimito, and it's like, because they're dramatically older than, or Nancy, right. or Sonia. Like I would never disrespect someone like that or talk to them like that. But then again, I never had a relationship like that with them, like where we were buddies. You know what I'm saying? Because I always saw them as adults, right, compared to us. Obviously, me, Delilah, we're a little closer in age, but I still got them by like 10 years.
Right.
You know? But again, that's my fault. It is what it is. I love our relationship. But a lot of times we do say
Clash.
things. We do clash hard,
Yeah.
and we clash harder because of the fact that sometimes there's no... And again, it's not that I want what I say goes, right? Because that's not what I want. But sometimes and it's my fault because I have to put my foot down and say, you know what? Stop.
It's some
And it's not just her.
There's a lot of
times I'm wrong. A lot of times I'm wrong. I could be wrong.
Sometimes a little bit more than a lot of times. But no, it's just it's all in how you...
You have a fan over there, apparently.
I know, but it's all on how you present what you're saying, right?
Oh, did you see what she said? Oh, she sent it to you. So she sent me this TikTok thing, which sometimes I don't know what the hell I'm looking at.
Delilah?
Yeah, it was like something about zodiacs or whatever. I think the zodiac for Taurus said that you need to learn how to be yourself so people don't have to dig to know you. And I'm like, do you agree with that?
That you
I think
need
I'm
to
very
be yourself.
like being so that people have an easier time getting to know me. Do you think I hide who I am?
Oh, so that's difficult for you putting me on the spot. So let me tell you why you're putting me on the spot. Because I think that I've seen a lot of your vulnerability that nobody has. And I think that I have seen a lot of who you are. But I have to agree that in certain situations...
Get off my show.
You play... No. And this is not to offend you. But you play to other people, whether it's... and please don't take to offense, but I am here to speak the truth.
I'm going to censor this.
No, you're not going to censor this.
Go.
I've seen you, and you are a beautiful person, right? I've seen you. I don't think a lot of people have, because I do think that sometimes you play to other people, whether it's an insecurity that you want people to like you, or... And I could be wrong.
Now, here's my
I'm
question.
just saying. I'm giving you my perspective.
Hold
Hold
on.
on. Espérate.
Go ahead.
No, espérate. And so you know how you like to act, right? And you like to be in that position of acting, and then you go out for auditions, and then you'll tell me, I'm playing this part and I'm playing that part. I don't know if I did good. I don't know if I did good. I think that for the most part, certain people, right? Who specifically right now? I don't know, on the top of my head. But I've seen situations where I'm like, that's not my cousin. What the fuck is he doing? Like, why is he like trying to be more... Because you is perfectly fine. So I kind of do agree. I don't know why. I'm not going to sit here and psychoanalyze you. I can say that it could be an insecurity. I can say that you probably don't know you're doing it. I can say that it depends on the conversation. But I can see it. I can see it. Because, so I'm going to give you an example. And I'm not going to say because I ain't going to put your business out there. But the other day you texted me about something about one of your auditions. And Delilah was sitting next to me, right? And you said something like, well, did you think... You said something like, let's just say, oh, did you think I did good? And Delilah's like, why is he talking to you like that? He don't talk to us like that. And I was like, well, because I'm his big cousin. And, he's looking for like...
But I feel like I have to... I can't show... Okay, so... Okay, hold on.
Say it. Finish the sentence.
Here's the thing. So there's vulnerability. So there's times... Well, you said it yourself. The man has to be... The man.
Yeah, but I'm talking about at home. Baby,
okay,
with
yeah.
Woman,
Okay, but I'm talking. But I'm talking about with them. With them, I still feel like I'm the adult.
Okay,
I have to hold my ground. Kind of how you obviously you're their mom. So if I break, everything goes to shit. And I'm not exaggerating, but you know what I'm saying. Like I'm holding it. I have to hold it together, regardless of what's going on. I have to be that like even.
So
and I'll tell you when I really
holds it together for you though. When you're trying to pretend to be something
I've
else.
always that's the thing. So now I'm an only boy. So like I've always been brought up, and she could testify.
Spoiled, rotten.
No, that's not fucking true at all.
Spoiled, rotten.
At all.
Spoiled, rotten.
You're
bro.
full of shit.
Oh no! Don't make me show receipts.
God, listen.
Don't make me show.
Listen,
receipts.
because we're running. Okay.
We're running out of time.
No,
oh, now
let me see.
all of a sudden we have
we're at
no
44
time.
minutes. Listen, I'm an only boy, so like, and then Tiffany and Miliani, they always had each other. and I think I've said this story before. When it came to me, like, okay, my dad was not like, my dad now is more in my life than he's ever been. Right. And I'm cool with that. Even though I have my things that one day we'll talk about, whatever. But me and my father, kind of like you and your mom, we have a better relationship now than we've ever had. And I'm cool with that. But when I was younger, you know, my dad was go to work, come back, eat the big piece of chicken, eat the big chuleta, go to bed, go to work.
And not talk to nobody.
It was kind of like that. You know, that's what it was. But that's how they grew up. That's how, you know, our grandfather was or whatever. So I kind of learned how to do things on my own. And I tend to, you know, have my emotions and my emotional breakdowns by myself, which is not good. It's not healthy, right? I slowly start to express those things. I expressed it to you because you were kind of my getaway because you were different than everyone else. You know, I could say things that I can't say to others, you know.
And when she came in, I allowed you to be you. I never expected you not to be you.
True that. She's another one that's like that in my life. I mean, she's been in my life for a long time, and she's seen me go from, I guess, if you want to listen. Oh God.
That's another episode.
Like,
I'm kidding.
If anyone knows me, like pretending to be cool or whatever, probably be her because obviously she met me and me trying to, you know, I had to pretend I was cool or whatever. That if you want to see the best acting I ever did in my life, that was it because I was pretending to be cool, which I really wasn't. I also lied about my age and all that good stuff. And I think, I was acting so good. It took her a long time to find out. Like, I think I finally told her like maybe 5 years
okay,
after.
so that mic and this mic, how much more beautiful it is that you're able to be you with her, and you don't have to fake the front or pretend to be cool anymore because she accepts you for you. And I say that because not just her, right? If you gave other people the opportunity to know you for you. I don't think I've ever have not done that. The thing is, I don't click very well with a lot of people. That's why, like, my circle is very small. And if you ask people I hang with, so if you ask Martin or you've met Martin before, your circle's small because you choose to. Because you come around my friends and everybody loves him. Oh, that's your cousin.
Yeah, but
that's
I mean,
your cousin. Oh my God, that's your cousin.
Because I'm a talker,
right?
But there's a difference between talking and forming a relationship, and I think those happen organically.
Right.
Like my friendship with Martin started randomly one day because we both got benched on the same team, and we started talking. We were like, screw this, let's go play in another league. We became best friends after that. Rafi was kind of the same thing, playing basketball, whatever, and then we just kept on ever since. I feel like I'm missing somebody. Who am I missing? Rafi? I'm missing somebody, and I'm sorry if I am. John, hello. Because he's fucking missing. He's fucking missing.
Hold on, let me flex.
John, there you go. You got to do that. Can you do that?
I can't do that.
You can't do the thing?
No,
okay.
I refuse. I will leave that. John, when you come back, you can flex.
John, obviously, is a different situation because John, I grew up with him. Even though we weren't friends. We knew each other, but we weren't friends until like later on in life. But the same, like, I feel like you have to, like, people that are really close friends, like you and Will and those guys, those are relationships that are unique, right? Mine and hers, they're unique. Like they don't just randomly pop up. Because how many people you meet on a daily basis? How many of them do you become your best friend or close? How many people in your life are that you work with, that you have worked with, that are supposedly friends? But once you don't work together anymore, you never hear from them.
Yeah. But I don't think we're supposed to be meant to have these unique relationships. I'm very into twin flames and soulmates. And I believe you have a friend that, you know, I have a friend that she knows Alicia is my soulmate friend.
Alicia.
I
gotta make sure you
I gotta make sure I tell
you're listening out there.
You know, I gotta talk about Yuri. That's my number one.
Subscribe to our channel.
Subscribe to our channel so I could come back to this show, you know. And I have these special relationships with people that I'm so glad that they even entered in my life. But I don't think I'm supposed to have that, because imagine how emotional that would be to encounter so many people and be their best friends every day.
No,
it's too much.
I've always felt like so I've never been fake in the sense of how I am. Like I may tone it down a little bit.
I wouldn't say fake. I would say you try too hard sometimes, which gets you out of
Try
not
too
being
hard to
you.
do what?
Like how you say with Mina, you try so hard to be cool, and you weren't, right?
I feel like I'm too old to do that now. I don't know. You really still think I try to be cool?
No,
I don't think I try to be
that's
cool
the
no
thing.
more.
You ask me if I see
tired.
it. I do see it. You're
I'm
not like
tired.
that with me. I don't allow it. I don't play that shit.
I'm tired.
Yeah, I don't play that shit. And I think that the reason with me is too, like, in the family, who told me that I scare my family? Who do you remember who told me that? Somebody was like, Mina, you believe that? Somebody was like, you guys are scared of her. Oh, I remember. I ain't gonna mention the name. I'll tell you off the air. But they were like,
Feel like they owe you money.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, I know you're talking about.
And they were like, oh, you know, your family, your Michael's like that because you scare him.
Oh,
and yeah,
yeah.
Cause I was
yeah.
What? I scare him? No, it's because I don't take shit. Like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat. I've never sugarcoated anything in my life. If I didn't like a person, I didn't like them. I wasn't the greatest back in the day because I had a bad temper. But like, scare my family? No, I don't. I think I've been through so much trauma that if I got to a point where if my mother who birthed me and my dad who made me couldn't tell me anything, anybody else couldn't tell me anything either. And I say that because I know you're looking at the time.
No, we got like 5 more minutes.
5 more minutes. I want to just say too, like, you know, being a single mom back then and now, it's hard. It's hard because one person, I honestly believe, like...
You need to.
And I say that because even though I was a single mom, I tried very hard for my child's father to be in her life, right? Natalia's father passed away, so that was... uncontrollable, right? But in Delilah's case, I put my tail in my ass so many times because I always told him, this is not about me. This is about, I want my daughter to be complete. And I cannot play the role of a father. No matter how much I try, no matter how many uncles she has, she needs her father in her life. So I put myself in situations and almost like begging and you know, now they're good, you know what I'm saying? And they're okay and she's happy and I'm happy she has that because she is still going to have daddy issues, of course. She's going to hate me for that, but it's reality. I have them too, D, so don't worry. But at least I know that I tried, and at least I know that now he's an active kind of participant in her life, because you do need to. A little girl always needs her father. A little boy always needs the mother, vice versa. Yeah. And it's hard. It's hard because they always have a missing piece. Yeah. But
I agree with you. I never understood it. And I can never picture not being in my kids' lives, even if it doesn't work out with you know, the mother, right? Like, I can't picture that. That's such a hard thing. And I know everyone has their situations or, you know, things that come up, but like in my head, I can't wrap around not being there in any form. Even if I live in a different country or whatever, there's no way that I wouldn't have some type of relationship with that kid. You know, and again, that's me. I'm a weird dude.
But we go back to the trauma. Why? Because you know how your dad wasn't there, or in ways he could have been there, right? Yeah. And that's why I said kids don't come with instructions. So we kind of take our lives as that instruction. Right. So what did we lack? What did we have? What did we didn't have? And
what can we make better?
That these kids, you know, we have to break the cycle. Moving forward, you have a kid. Shit. That baby's, you could not be in that baby's life if you want to. You could try to.
You gonna raise my kid?
I'll raise your kid. I mean, we're gonna raise the kid together, girl. We gonna raise the kid together, girl. I got you. But the thing, and with that being said, I'm not gonna take away from single moms. I'm a single mom. I'm very proud to being a single mom. I did it. It can be done. Yes. It definitely can be done. I know a lot of people who were raised by single mothers and are amazing people, and you know they didn't have a father and still great. You can still impact their child's life. It's just hard, you know, but possible.
I think if I add a little bit to what you said, I put more pressure on the dads, man. We got to be better, man. Because I think we get the easy way out, and that shouldn't be that. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, if I leave, everything falls on the mother. And that's not cool. Like, we need, if you are man enough to have a child, then you should be man enough to be a dad. My opinion. My opinion.
Truth be told.
And that's just me. I mean, I don't know. Everybody does what they want to do, but me, I can't. There's no way. I'm not dying for a kid right now, but I mean, I'm getting kind of old.
I'm dying for you to have a kid right now. God. I think the whole family is
going to be a crib.
We're holding our breath.
There's going to be a crib in the corner there, and the kid's going to be part of the show.
No, the part is that you have twins or triplets, and you just give
God,
one to each of us.
Don't scare me like that. But yeah, I mean, we can go on forever.
Yeah.
I mean, and we'll definitely come back because we have a lot of stuff, and you did very well.
Thank you.
I'm actually let's round of applause here. I think she did very well. She's actually very good guest. You can't pick the topics every time.
No. Next time I'll talk about what you want to talk about.
No, I actually want to continue this. It's just we'll bring you back. Maybe
I'm sure we'll have more family.
If you can come back
soon.
next week, we can come. Maybe we'll have someone else join us this time on the table, or I'll let her host and you guys can chat and I'll sit off because I think that would be really cool. Because I want to break.
We need an episode about
women, all women,
energy.
There you go. It could
chakra
be
balance.
I'm totally cool with that. As long as you open the show the way I do, IMO in my opinion, then you're good.
IMO in my opinion with GNM.
There you go. Did you have a good time, Griselle?
I did. This was very fun. I was nervous, but I'm like, I was kind of.
It's cool. It's cool.
I like hearing my voice in these little headphones.
Mind you, I got to buy some new ones. I just broke mine, but whatever. Cool. I think we're gonna close it out. Anything else you want to add?
No.
Towards the end, you're good.
Thank you for having me here.
I love you. You're awesome. Don't ever change. And yeah. All right. Before I start crying here.
Before we get all emotional.
I'm serious.
Goodbye, everybody.
All right. So that's gonna be our show for today. As always, everything we said is in our opinion. And if you don't agree with it, I got 3 words for you. Thanks for listening.